All right, so we're diving deep today into mastering English fluency.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, you sent over this really interesting video, and it's packed with advice.
Lots of good tips in there.
Yeah, so we're gonna pull out some of the best ones, and I'm excited to get into it.
Me too.
Okay, so the first hack that this video talks about is thinking in English,
Okay.
and I gotta say, I when I was learning Spanish, this was huge for me.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
It really is, because you're not translating word for word anymore. You're just like switching on the English channel in your brain, right?
Yeah. And yeah, the video even says to start small.
Okay.
Just like describing things that you see around you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in your notes that you were having trouble with read tenses.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of just labeling objects, you could try, narrating your day as you go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Like, I am making coffee. I am putting on my shoes.
Right.
Simple stuff, but it gets those verbs working.
It does. And you know what's so cool about this is it's tapping into that natural way we acquire language as kids.
Mm-hmm.
We don't start with grammar rules.
Mm-hmm.
We just start by absorbing and imitating the
Right.
language around us.
Totally, which leads perfectly into hack number 2,
Oh, yeah?
imitating native speakers.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, so this is where movies and TV shows and even YouTube videos become like your secret weapon.
Right.
And the best part is it's fun.
It is. It's so fun and it's so effective.
Yeah.
When you imitate native speakers, you are training your ear to pick up those nuances, the rhythm, the intonation, even those subtle sounds
Oh, yeah.
that can be really difficult for
Yeah.
non-native speakers.
Okay, so speaking of sounds, you mentioned that Veth's sounds were tricky for you.
Oh, yeah. Those are tough.
I remember when I was first learning Spanish, rolling my R's was like,
Right.
it felt impossible.
It takes practice.
Yeah. I remember with Beth that I'd be trying to say the, and it would come out more like zez. But it's all about practice.
Yeah.
And getting those vocal muscles used to making those new shapes.
Exactly. And mimicking helps with that.
Yes.
It's like watching a pro athlete and trying to copy their moves.
Right.
You start to understand how to position your lips, everything,
Yeah.
to create those authentic sounds.
The video actually suggests mimicking phrases directly,
Oh, yeah.
like just straight up copying.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, it might feel silly at first, but I've done it, and it really does work.
It does. It's like giving your tongue a workout.
It really is. And
Yeah.
and what's amazing is the science behind this.
Oh, tell me.
When we observe and imitate others, our brains activate these things called mirror neurons.
Wow, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they help us understand and reproduce the actions that we see.
So cool.
And that includes speech patterns.
So it's like our brains are wired for imitation.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
It's a natural learning mechanism.
Love it.
Wow.
All right, are you ready for hack number 3?
Yes. Bring it on.
All right, so this one is all about embracing the colorful side of English.
Ooh.
Common phrases and idioms.
Yes. I love this.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between saying I'm happy and saying I'm over the moon.
Right. One is just stating a fact.
Yeah.
The other is painting a picture.
Yes.
I love that. And idioms are more than just colorful expressions.
Okay.
They really offer a glimpse into the culture,
Yeah.
the history,
Mhm.
even the humor of a
Yeah.
language.
Like secret codes
Yes,
that
exactly.
unlock a deeper level of understanding.
I love that.
The video gives some great examples. Instead of saying, I understand,
Okay.
you could say, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Short, sweet, natural.
Much more natural.
And, you mentioned struggling with sounding too formal in English.
I do.
So these everyday phrases can help you loosen up a bit
Totally.
and sound more like a native speaker.
It's all about finding that balance
Yes.
between being grammatically correct
Yeah,
and sounding natural and fluent.
totally. So,
Yeah.
so let me throw out a challenge for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
How about you try to pick up one new idiom each day
Okay.
and use it in a conversation? I'm going to try it too.
Awesome.
All right, so ready for hack number 4.
Hit me.
This one's all about something we know is key,
Yeah.
but we sometimes avoid speaking out loud
Every single day.
every single day. Even if you don't have a language partner,
Yes.
there are so many ways to get those speaking reps in.
You're so right. It's like, think of it like exercise.
Yeah.
But for your mouth
Yes.
and your brain.
It's true. The more you speak, the stronger those language muscles get.
I love that analogy.
So the video suggests reading out loud.
Okay.
Maybe from a book or an article that you find interesting.
I like that.
And tongue twisters.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Those are always good.
Maybe we could even try one later.
Ooh, I'm up for it.
Just for kicks.
Yes.
But, finding a language buddy online can also be a game changer. It can. You mentioned in your notes that you were a little hesitant about that.
I am. I get a little nervous talking to new people.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But the online language learning community is so welcoming and supportive.
I've heard that.
And everyone's there to learn and practice.
Right. We're all in the same boat.
Exactly. So it kind of takes the pressure off.
It is.
Knowing that everybody is there to make mistakes and learn from each other.
Right.
So before we move on to the final hack, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's resonated with you so far?
Ooh.
Anything you're excited to try?
Honestly, all of these are great, but the one that really speaks to me the most is that thinking in English.
Yeah.
It just makes so much sense.
Right.
Like once I started doing that consistently in Spanish, it was like a whole new world opened up.
It's like you stop translating and you just start experiencing the language directly.
Exactly. And it takes time and effort, of course.
Yeah.
But the rewards are immense. You start to think more quickly, you express yourself more naturally, and you even dream in English.
Wow. Okay. Now you're making me excited to really give this a go.
You should. It's amazing.
Speaking of giving things a go, let's move on to that final hack.
Okay.
The one that you mentioned you were a bit hesitant about.
Ah, yes. Hack number 5, recording yourself and getting feedback.
Okay.
I know it can feel a bit awkward at first.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been there.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's like having a superpower for language learning.
I used to cringe at the thought of hearing my own voice recorded.
I know.
But then I started doing it when I was practicing music.
Oh, wow.
And it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
I could hear all these little things I was doing wrong that I never would have noticed otherwise.
That's exactly it. It's like having an instant replay for your English.
Yeah.
You can analyze your pronunciation, your intonation, even the speed and clarity of your speech.
Yeah. And in your notes, you specifically mentioned wanting to improve your pronunciation, right?
I do.
So this is where recording yourself becomes so valuable.
Absolutely.
Because you can compare your pronunciation to a native speaker's and really pinpoint, which sounds need a little more work.
Right. And you can even focus on specific elements. We talked about those the sounds earlier.
Yes.
Record yourself saying a few words with the, then listen back.
Right.
Are you getting that air flowing correctly? Are you placing your tongue in the right spot? It becomes so much clearer when you can hear yourself objectively.
It's like having a personal pronunciation coach.
Right.
Right there in your pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of coaches, the video also suggests sharing your recordings with someone you trust.
Okay.
Maybe a friend who's a native speaker or language teacher.
Right.
Getting that external feedback
can
be incredibly helpful.
I know it can be nerve-wracking to share those recordings.
It can.
But think of it this way. You're getting personalized advice.
Yeah.
Tailored to your specific needs.
Exactly.
And plus it shows you're serious about improving.
Right.
And that can be a great motivator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your learning.
Yeah.
And seeking out ways to grow.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into these 5 fantastic hacks, I want to emphasize something crucial.
What's that?
It's not about mastering these hacks overnight.
Okay.
Or becoming perfectly fluent in a week.
Right.
Language learning is a journey.
It really is.
And it's important to enjoy the process.
That's something I've learned over the years. When I was younger, I used to get so frustrated.
Yeah.
When I couldn't remember a word or I made a mistake.
Right.
It felt like a failure.
I know. But it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about making progress. However small it may seem.
Yeah.
Every native speaker started as a beginner.
It's true.
Stumbling over words, making grammatical errors.
That's such a good reminder.
Yeah.
We all start somewhere.
Right.
And the key is to just keep going.
Exactly.
To keep learning and to celebrate those small victories along the way.
I love that. And remember those notes you shared with us?
Yeah.
Where you mentioned feeling a bit lost and unsure where to start?
Right.
Well, these 5 hacks provide a roadmap, a framework to help you structure your learning and make steady progress.
And they're adaptable?
Yes, they are.
You can pick and choose the ones that resonate with you the most. Experiment with different approaches and tailor them to your individual needs and goals.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of tailoring things to your needs,
Yeah.
let's revisit some of the challenges that you specifically mentioned in your notes.
Okay.
You talked about feeling self-conscious about speaking English in front of others.
Yeah.
Do any of these hacks feel particularly helpful in addressing that?
You know, when you mention feeling self-conscious, the hack about imitating native speakers really stood out to me.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you're acting, like you're taking on a different persona.
Right.
And it could help you just get out of your head a bit and
Yeah.
focus on the sounds and the rhythm of the language.
That's a really good point. It's like putting on a mask almost.
Right.
Allowing you to experiment with different ways of speaking.
And yeah.
Without feeling so exposed.
Yeah. And the more you practice, the more comfortable you become.
Exactly. It's like building that confidence muscle.
Exactly. And the cool thing is those skills that you develop through imitation, they can transfer over to real life conversations.
They do.
You start to internalize those natural patterns of speech.
Absolutely.
And it just flows more easily.
And remember, you don't have to sound exactly like a native speaker to be fluent.
Right.
It's about finding your own voice in English.
Yeah.
Expressing yourself authentically and connecting with others.
Exactly. It's about communication, not perfection.
I love that.
And speaking of communication, that brings us back to the hack about finding a language buddy.
Yes.
I know you mentioned feeling a little hesitant about that.
I do. It's putting yourself out there. It can be intimidating.
I get it.
But think of it this way. You're both there to learn and support each other.
Right?
It's a shared journey.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing about online communities is you can connect with people from all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Each with their unique experiences and perspectives.
It's like opening a window to a whole new world.
It is.
Of language and culture.
And who knows?
Yeah.
You might even make some lifelong friends along the way.
That's true.
Yeah.
Listening to you talk about this is making me realize that mastering English is about so much more than just, memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary.
Right.
It's about expanding your horizons, connecting with others, and embracing a new way of thinking and communicating.
That's beautifully put. It's a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
As much as it is about language acquisition.
Totally.
And it's a journey that's worth taking.
Yes.
Challenges and all.
Speaking of challenges, you mentioned in your notes that you sometimes get discouraged.
I do.
When you hit those inevitable roadblocks.
Yeah, it happens.
So do you have any tips for staying motivated
Yeah.
and keeping those language fires burning?
Absolutely. First and foremost, remember to celebrate those small wins.
Okay.
Did you finally master that tricky pronunciation?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a successful conversation with a native speaker?
Right.
Give yourself credit for those achievements.
I love that. It's so easy to focus on what we're not doing well.
It is.
But it's so important to acknowledge those moments of progress.
Yes.
No matter how small.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to take breaks when you need them.
Okay.
Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
It's okay to step back, recharge, and come back to it with fresh eyes and renewed energy.
That's such a valuable reminder. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard.
We do.
And that can lead to burnout.
Absolutely.
So it's about finding that balance
Yes.
between dedication and self-care.
I love that.
Yes.
And remember to make it fun.
Yes.
If you're dreading your study sessions,
Yeah.
it's time to switch things up.
Right.
Find activities that you genuinely enjoy,
Okay.
whether it's watching movies, listening to music, reading books, or even playing language learning games.
Right. Make English a part of your life.
Exactly.
Not just another chore on your to-do list.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that you love listening to music.
I do.
Have you tried listening to English songs and singing along?
I have. It's so fun.
It's a blast.
It's a great way to pick up new vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and even learn about different cultures.
And you don't have to be a great singer to enjoy it.
No, not at all. It's all about letting loose and having a good time.
Exactly. And, one of the things I've found really helpful is to set realistic goals.
Okay.
Instead of aiming for fluency overnight,
Right.
break it down into smaller, achievable steps.
Yeah.
Maybe it's learning 5 new words a day,
Mm-hmm.
watching an English movie without subtitles, or having a short conversation with a language partner.
Right.
Those small steps add up over time.
They do.
And as you achieve those goals, you build confidence and momentum,
Yeah.
which keeps you motivated to keep going.
So true. Well, I think we've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
We unpacked those 5 powerful hacks from your video, explored the science behind language learning,
Yeah.
and even tackled some of the challenges that you personally shared with us.
It's been such a great conversation.
It really has, and I hope you, our listener, are feeling inspired and equipped to take your English fluency to the next level.
I hope so, too.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought. The most important ingredient in this whole journey is you.
Ooh.
Your dedication, your curiosity, your willingness to embrace the ups and downs. That's what will ultimately determine your success.
Beautifully said.
Mm.
Remember, language learning is a journey of self-discovery and growth.
Yes.
Embrace the challenge. Have fun along the way. And never stop believing in yourself.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into mastering English. We're so excited to see where your language journey takes you. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep those language fires burning.